Hey Nerdgenic Nation, superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I want to talk about one of the most anticipated movies of the year, The Batman. And before we even get into it, I do want to preface this video by saying that I've been a fan of Batman for as long as I can remember. It all started for me back with reruns of the 1966 Batman series and Batman the Animated Series. Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. But as we get closer and closer to the next Batman film starring Robert Pattinson, I keep finding myself getting less excited and actually starting to dread its release. And I do try to be cautiously optimistic for just about every movie that I want to see. I'm always hopeful it will blow my mind, but I'm also prepared for disappointment. But when it comes to one of the most anticipated movies of the year that involves my favorite character, of course I'm crazy excited, but there are a few things that already have me worried. And also I've tried to avoid as much press for this movie as I possibly can to try and remain as spoiler-free as possible, having only seen both the teaser trailer and first trailer that were presented at both previous DC fandom events, the poster, and whichever character images have been released. But without further ado, let's talk about what has me worried. The first thing is the sheer amount of clips, trailers, and photos that I've seen released online centered around a sunset-sunrise scene featuring Batman and Catwoman. Now personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Batman-Catwoman relationship, and I don't feel like it needs to be explored nearly as far as it looks like this movie's going to go, which is supposed to be the start of a new franchise of Batman movies. Like, I get it, but the amount of attention it's getting also makes me kind of not want to deal with it at all. The second thing that I'm not 100% sold on is how the film was originally sold as a noir crime story, which I do think should be the kind of Batman story to be told, as being the world's greatest detective isn't something we've necessarily seen him do on screen. But why this concerns me is based on just about everything I've seen, it looks far from a noir detective story when all the trailers show Batman beating the crap out of someone or chasing down the Penguin a la Death Race. Maybe the first teaser trailer from over 2 years ago and the very beginning of the official trailer gave that impression, but I honestly haven't seen much more hints of this other than that. And another thing that concerns me is the Matt Reeves aspect. He's done some pretty fantastic movies in the past, but they are also a very slow burn. Take his Rise of the Planet of the Apes series. For the first film, it was extremely slow going, and not necessarily saying that this movie will have that same problem, but it's likely that he'll be playing a long game with Batman and his development, which for comic book fans could be great, but for more casual fans, this could mean disaster and another franchise ended before it ever really gets started. Which takes me into my last point, which again, solely based on the trailers and even the most recent poster, this movie looks like it'll be pretty boring and cookie cutter. Sure, it'll have action elements as any superhero movie is bound to have one way or another, but as awesome as it looks, it feels bland. The Batman was the movie that, in my mind, was supposed to be different, a new take and a fresh look. But when you boil it down to what we've seen thus far, it just looks like a continuation of the Nolan Batman movies with a new coat of paint and a very basic poster featuring a collage of stacked characters. To be honest, the only elements that have me most excited involve the Riddler, my favorite Batman villain, hopefully a more detective-style Batman, though as I mentioned before, that's kind of yet to really be seen, and the overall style of the characters and Gotham City. Look, just like with any movie, I just want it to be good. But as this movie gets closer, I just find myself having more difficulty getting excited for it with anything that I see. But those are my thoughts on The Batman a little over a month from its release. I hope I'm wrong, but for now, I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. Are you still just as excited for The Batman? Do you think that I have a point? Is there anything that has you worried about this movie? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you miss out on any future videos, and also give us a like and follow on Facebook so you miss out on any awesome news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out these videos on screen. Like this video right over here where I talk about Miles Morales possibly entering the MCU and who could be playing him, or check out this video right over here where I talk about Tom Cruise possibly playing an Iron Man variant in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness movie. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.